The world has always known Ji Chang-wook as the shining prince of K-dramas, the man whose smile could melt an entire nation's heart and whose charisma on screen transcends borders. From the swoon-worthy lawyer and suspicious partner to the action-driven roles that displayed his toughness, he has consistently held his place as one of South Korea's most beloved leading men. Yet behind every bright smile, there are shadows that few ever notice. And for an entire year, Ji Chang-wook lived with a secret so heavy that not even Ji-hyun, his closest on-screen partner and perhaps the person fans believed to be his confidant, had any idea. The chemistry between Ji Chang-wook and Ji-hyun was undeniable when they shared the screen in 2017's Suspicious Partner. Fans across the globe shipped them passionately, crafting endless montages of their tender moments, dissecting every behind-the-scenes laugh, every glance, every subtle gesture that hinted at something more. It wasn't just the characters who seemed fated for one another, but the actors themselves. They became a duo that fans adored, a symbol of youthful romance wrapped in television magic. Whenever Ji Chang-wook was mentioned, Ji-hyun's name was not far behind, and vice versa. This is why the idea that even Ji-hyun had no clue about the secret he harbored for an entire year feels so staggering. On the surface, Ji Chang-wook appeared to be thriving. After his military service, he returned to the entertainment industry with renewed vigor. He smiled on variety shows, greeted fans warmly at airports, posed for photo shoots with the confidence of a star who had the world at his feet. To the public eye, his life was picture perfect. But perfection often masks pain. And the truth was far different. Ji Chang-wook was fighting an invisible battle he chose to keep silent about, even when the weight threatened to crush him. This battle was not about a career setback or a fleeting scandal. It was deeply personal, rooted in the one relationship that shaped his very existence, his bond with his mother. From early interviews in his career, Ji Chang-wook often spoke about his mother in passing. He credited her for his strength, his discipline, his ability to endure the grueling schedules of the entertainment world. There was always a glimmer of gratitude in his words, but also a hesitation, as though there was more he wanted to say but couldn't. Fans dismissed it as humility. After all, many celebrities thanked their parents, but those who looked closely could sense there was a deeper story lurking beneath. The truth was that his mother had been struggling with a private battle of her own, one that Ji Chang-wook shielded from the world at all costs. During that secretive year, Ji Chang-wook's appearances carried subtle hints that something was amiss. There were nights when he looked more fatigued than usual, his eyes betraying exhaustion despite the flawless makeup and tailored suits. At press events, his smile seemed rehearsed, a little tighter than before. He canceled a few public engagements with vague explanations of scheduling conflicts, and fans speculated endlessly about the reasons. Some guessed he was overworked. Others believed he was preparing for a surprise project. No one imagined that he was quietly running between film sets and hospital rooms, balancing the dual worlds of global fame and private despair. What made this secret even more heart-wrenching was the fact that he bore it entirely alone. Not even Ji-hyun, who many thought knew everything about him, was privy to the pain he was enduring. Ji Chang-wook has always been known for drawing a clear line between his personal and professional life. He built walls not out of distrust, but out of an instinct to protect those he cared about from unnecessary burdens. He laughed with Ji-hyun during reunions, reminisced about their time on set. But he never once let slip the storm that was raging in his family life. For him, protecting his mother meant protecting her privacy, even if it meant bearing the emotional weight without leaning on anyone else. In those months, his mother became the center of his universe more than ever. Their bond had always been unshakable. She raised him as a single mother, nurturing his dreams when the world doubted him, sacrificing her comfort to ensure he could pursue acting. Ji Chang-wook knew he owed everything to her. When life dealt her a cruel hand, he decided he would be the one to carry her burdens in silence, just as she once carried his. He visited her in quiet hours, away from the eyes of fans and reporters, holding her hand and whispering encouragements no one else would hear. And then, when the cameras flashed, transformed back into the perfect celebrity, hiding every trace of anguish behind the mask of a smile. The emotional toll was immense. Imagine memorizing pages of dialogue, executing stunts, attending fan meetings where thousands screamed your name, all while your heart was breaking in private. Ji Chang-wook mastered this duality with an almost frightening discipline. His colleagues praised his professionalism. unaware that behind the scenes, he often stepped aside to collect himself, sometimes staring blankly at his phone, waiting for updates from doctors, or replaying conversations with his mother in his mind. The duality of his existence, idol to millions, son to one, became his reality for a year. The irony is that Nam Ji-hyun, often portrayed as his partner in crime in fantasies, just as in the dark as the rest of the world. She had no idea that when he smiled at her during reunions or joked about their character's love story, there was another story running in parallel, one filled with fear, uncertainty, and heartbreak. It wasn't that he didn't trust her. It was that he couldn't bear to let even his closest friends shoulder the heaviness of what he was going through. This was his family's battle, and he was determined to keep it theirs alone. As the year dragged on, whispers began to surface. A few industry insiders noticed his fatigue. A fan captured a candid moment where Chang-wook looked unusually pensive, staring out of a van window, face unguarded for once. Rumors circulated online. Was he struggling with a burnout? Was there trouble in his career? Some tabloids speculated about relationships, but none of it touched the truth. Hill's story was one that couldn't be spun into scandalous headlines, because it was raw and painfully human, a son fighting silently for his mother. The question remains, why keep it hidden? Why not let his fans, who adore him unconditionally, share in his pain and offer their support? For Ji Chang-wook, the answer lay in his mother's dignity. He wanted her struggle to remain hers, not a spectacle for gossip columns. He knew that once it became public, spiral into endless chatter, dissected by strangers who didn't understand the depth of their bond. So he carried the silence with stoic determination. And it meant isolating himself emotionally. In doing so, he proved that behind the celebrity facade was a man whose greatest role wasn't on screen, but in life, the role of a devoted son. As this hidden year unfolded, Ji Chang-wook continued to project strength. To fans, he was invincible. To the world, he was flawless. But in the quiet corners of his heart, he was fragile. The only witness to his most vulnerable moments was his mother. Even Nam Ji-hyun, with her easy laughter and enduring friendship, and oblivious. It is a testament to how fiercely he protected his mother's privacy that not even she, who many fans saw as his closest companion, had any inkling of the storm he endured. By the time whispers began to fade and the world moved on to other distractions, Ji Chang-wook had become a master of hiding pain. Perfected the art of compartmentalizing his life. To the audience, he was simply Ji Chang-wook, the dazzling star. But beneath the surface, he was Ji Chang-wook, unclinging to hope, silently praying that his mother would recover, silently wishing that one day he could tell his fans the truth without breaking down. The truth was beginning to take shape. In the glitz of red carpets, but in the quiet resilience of the man who had learned to turn his tears into strength. The story was not ready to be told then. But secrets have a way of surfacing, even when we fight to bury them. And for Ji Chang-wook, the day would come when the weight of his silence would collide with the unrelenting curiosity of the public eye. That day, the truth would spill out, raw, emotional, devastatingly human. It was not a revelation that shocked the industry because of scandal, but one that stunned because of its purity. And it would leave Nam Ji-hyun, along with the millions of fans around the world, speechless. Truth finally began to emerge. It was not through a dramatic confession or a tabloid exposé. It slipped out in the gentlest of ways. An interview where Ji Chang-wook was asked about the source of his strength. He paused, his usual eloquence faltering, eyes glossed with unspoken words. And then, for the first time, he admitted that the person who had carried him through his darkest days was his mother. He spoke of gratitude, of sleepless nights by her side, of moments when he wasn't sure he could juggle both worlds. He didn't detail her illness. Did he need to? The weight in his voice told this story more powerfully than any disclosure could. That single admission was enough to shake his fan base to its core. Social media exploded with messages of support and heartbreak. Clips of the interview spread like wildfire. Fans cried as they replayed his trembling voice. His hands clenched tightly as though holding back the flood of emotions threatening to spill over. It wasn't just the revelation of his mother's struggle that touched them. It was the realization that their beloved star had carried this burden in silence for an entire year, choosing solitude over sympathy, over disclosure. Nam Ji-hyun, too, was caught off guard. Friends close to her revealed that she had no idea about the depth of what Chang-wook had been enduring. To her, he had always been the same playful co-star, same thoughtful friend. She expressed her shock in private circles, reportedly saying she wished he had confided in her. She would have been there to support him. But Chang-wook's decision not to share wasn't a reflection of distrust. It was a reflection of his own character, protective, stoic, unwilling to let his pain become someone else's burden. The entertainment industry rallied around him in admiration. Colleagues spoke of how professional he remained during shoots, how they never once suspected the turmoil he was enduring. Directors praised his ability to deliver flawless performances despite the personal storm raging behind the scenes. It was, they said, the mark of a true actor, but more importantly, the mark of a true son. For once, the industry wasn't buzzing about ratings or controversies. They were talking about resilience, about love, about the raw humanity behind the superstar facade. Fans, the revelation added a new layer of depth to their admiration. Chang-wook was no longer just the charming face of romantic dramas. He was a man who embodied loyalty and devotion, who proved that even in an industry often criticized for superficiality, true values still existed. Many wrote letters of encouragement, some sharing their own stories of family struggles, drawing strength from his quiet courage. It was as though his vulnerability had opened a door for thousands to confront their own silent battles. But perhaps the most moving aspect of the revelation was how Chang-wook himself carried it forward. He didn't wallow in pity or seek to capitalize on the sympathy wave. Instead, he spoke more openly about gratitude, about cherishing family, about not taking loved ones for granted. In fan meetings, his words shifted subtly. He no longer spoke just about career milestones or upcoming projects. He spoke about resilience, about hope, the importance of standing by those you love no matter what. His fans noticed, and they cherished this more grounded, felt side of him. The legacy of that hidden year will likely follow Chang-wook for the rest of his career. It isn't a scandal to be forgotten or a mistake to be erased. Testament to his character. A story of devotion that elevates him beyond a realm of celebrity. He will always be remembered not just as an actor who stole hearts on screen, but as a son who carried his mother's pain with silent dignity. And in many ways, that truth makes him more relatable, more human, and more inspiring than any role he has ever played. Ji-hyun didn't know. For 1 year, Chang-wook carried his secret alone, not out of shame, but out of love. And that love, quietly burning, the truth behind his brightest smile.